Hey everybody, so today we're going to make some sun catchers, and I have made these many times before, and I absolutely love the look of them hanging on the porch. But I'm going to hang mine in my window, I think, or I might put one on the porch. So I need to show you what you're going to need to do this. First of all, you're going to need plastic pony beads. That's what they're called. Now Walmart sells these. This was $5.97, I think, and there's 1,500 beads in there, so you can make quite a few sun catchers with one package of these. You're going to want the translucent pony beads and not the opaque beads, because the sun will shine through these and it won't the opaque beads. I already had a thing of beads, but these are the translucent ones here. And these are opaque, and so I didn't have enough translucent, I felt like, to make a good sun catcher. So I went and bought these. You will need a cake pan. Now this is just a Walmart brand cake pan. I think it was $2.97 or something like that. I've got my ticket. Okay, $3.97. But excuse me, you can use any cake pan, because once you're through making this, these things are usable for food. It won't harm it at all. It leaves no residue on it. It doesn't stick to it. It'll be fine. So I got this size, and I got a small size also. So these are pretty big, as you can see. For a sun catcher, it's going to be a big one. But the idea is to make that, and I bought some metal cookie cutters. You can't use the other kind, the silicone or whatever, because the idea is to hang this from that using your string. You can use this kind. I bought this, or you can use embroidery thread. You can use fishing line. I've used that in the past, clear fishing line, but I find it difficult to tie a good knot in that. So this time I've used this. This will be the string that you hang the whole thing from. Now you don't have to have this big a size. What you also can do, if you don't want to use a cake pan, you could use anything you've got. I would not recommend using a cupcake pan, because it's difficult to get these things out of a cupcake pan. But on these, they just pop out. That your sun catcher will just pop out once it's cool. You can also use an oven safe glass pan, any kind of glass pan that you have, any shape, any size. You could do, rectangles or squares, or just whatever size you want. It'll be perfectly fine. So these are big, and the only reason I'm using this one today is because I'm going to just arrange all these beads in here randomly. What I like to do really is I like to have, say, a blue on this side and a clear maybe on this other side, and some yellow and greens down the middle, and I will do one with this one. But for the purposes of time constraints, I'm going to use this big one, and I'm just going to put them randomly in so you'll see what I'm talking about. I also had already these things like this, these glass things. Now, Of course, glass isn't going to melt, but my hope is that I'm going to take some of these and put them randomly in places on here, and my hope is that when the plastic beads melt, they will hold the glass in it. So I'm going to do one with these and the pony beads as well. Now, my cookie cutter shapes, you can use anything you want. I found this heart. I don't particularly like that it's scalloped like this, because I don't know how my beads are going to melt inside. I wanted kind of a smooth. And then I found the flower, or sun, if you want to use it as a sun. But this is what I found, and it has to be melt. Okay, I think that's all our things that we need. Now this video is going to be either very long or in 2 parts, but that's okay. That's what we'll do. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my pony beads and go ahead and pour them in a container. Ooh, that scared Mrs. Key, and she ran like the wind. She sure did. Whoo-hoo, she ran off. I didn't mean to scare you, Miss Key. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take these beads, and we're going to put them in this pan. And we want 1 layer. Now I want to have them, as I go through, I want to have them, and it seems like they're kind of doing it. I don't want them laying on their side. I want them to have the whole side up. You don't have to have it that way. They just melt differently. That's the only reason I said that. Now we need 1 layer only. So this is the most time-consuming part of it. But like I said, if you want a certain coloration, like blue on one side or clear on the other side, or you know, yellow or whatever. Oh shoot, I can't. There we go. I kind of wanted them not laying on their sides, but some of them you can't help it. It's going to be that way. Just kind of mash them down to where you get one good layer in there. If you see some, see some spots that's kind of empty, put a bead there, because you want all beads everywhere, and you want the sides touching. You know, my grandkids used to come down for a week every summer, and we always had a craft project. They absolutely look forward to that. They love their craft project, and they call me Gee as in geezer, but that's what they call me. And my husband was Poppy. You might be a Nana or a Grandma or a Granny or Meemaw. I never had a Meemaw or a Meemaw. But anyway, we'd do a project every year, and sometimes they do canvas painting. Sometimes they paint birdhouses. Then one year we did their Suncatchers, and they would sit for hours and arrange their beads, y'all, and get the design exactly the way they want it to be. Okay, that looks pretty well covered to me. I might stick one right in there. That's what you want to do. Yep. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put these in the oven at 400 degrees from 20 to 30 minutes. And you're just going to have to kind of check when you get to that 20-minute mark. And you're going to want it to be totally melted all over. One time I didn't melt them quite good enough, and it was a real bumpy texture, which was okay. It looked great. But when they're melted all over, that's when that sun really comes through. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and I will show you what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, I had them in the oven, and my oven cooks hotter than my oven used to when I made these before. So they took about 20 minutes. Now the small ones in the small pans, if you use those, they may even take less time. So all you have to do is just open your oven door and look at them. And if it's smooth as it can be across the top of it, then you know that all the beads have melted and it's time to come out. If not, just let them bake just a little bit longer. But here's one I did in this little pan, as you can see it. Okay, and watch. Whoops, it just popped right out. I just turned it over on my hand and it popped right out. And this is what it looks like. Now this is one that I did with like 3 different colors, the green, the blue, and there's kind of a yellow. But what I should have done is use a darker blue. But once they're hanging up, once I hang them up and put their little piece behind it, and once the sun comes through, it will be just fine. It'll look good. And here's the one that had the little star. And let me show you. This one's a little more difficult. It's going to come out. It's just a little bit. Ah, there it comes. There it is, a little star. And I did all that. That's purple, believe it or not. So this will hang below that one. I don't know if you can even see it. It's so light. There it is. See how it did? Okay, there's that one. Now, here's the big one I did. Now what I did with this one is I just put random colors all over. I didn't try to do any kind of a pattern whatsoever. Here's the small one I did with the same things. Look at them. And the sun, that you can't, I don't have any sun today, unfortunately, or I'd hold them up in the window. But here's what they look like. They're sturdy as they can be. These were done without a pattern. I just put them all over it. Now here's my heart. Look at that. And I've got a little mark on here. That's where I'm going to put a hole. And here's the other sun done with random pattern or a flower, whatever you want to call it. And I've got a mark on it. Okay, so here's all my little guys. Now what we're going to do, and I'll show you, I'm going to put a hole in them. By the way, I would be in my chair, but Miss You-Know-Who has decided to cram her big body up in there, and I can't sit down now. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. I'm going to put this down. Whoa, that's wanting to way go down, isn't it? I need to tighten it up a little. Yeah, that's pulling way down. That's not wanting to tighten up. Isn't that the way? All right, I got a block of wood here. I'm going to put a paper towel on top of it. And I'm going to take my piece right here. And I've got a drill with a drill bit. Now you don't have to use a drill. What you can use is an ice pick and just heat it up. So I'm going there we go. okay? It's got a hole in it right there now. Got a little hole. And all I'm going to do is cut a piece of my cord and slip it through that and make a loop and tie it. Then I'm going to put another hole right down here and put a piece of cord and hang this from that, or hang that from that. And then you can hang it up and it'll be ready to go. And I'll do the same thing with my blue, green, yellow kind of color. Next time I'm going to use a little bit darker bead, I think, for the blue. But you know what? Once I get it hung out and in the window, you're going to be, oh yeah, you can see the color the most. So I think I have given you everything I need. Once I start to edit this video and see what I told you and what I didn't tell you, I'll know better what to tell you. If I've left something out, I'll include it. But that's how you do it, y'all. It's simple as it can be. They take 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. And the little ones take even less to do. There's all kinds of designs you can make with them. There's all kinds of shapes you can make with them, depending on what kind of pan you want to use. Even glass, like I told you. That's all there is to it. And then you can give them to friends. You can hang them wherever you want to. They'd be pretty in a bathroom window too. If you had sun coming in, that'd be real easy to do. So, I hope y'all have enjoyed making your easy DIY sun catchers. Okay, I finished doing all I'm going to do on these sun catchers for now. Let me show you what I've made. I've got them hanging up here. See, I made these big ones in that big cake pan, yeah. And here's the hearts for it. Look how shiny. Now, I don't have any sun today, y'all. It's raining, and that's why we didn't go to Quitman, because he was going to pull a trailer, and it's dangerous in the rain. This is one I made with a lot of light blue beads, but I took those glass beads that I showed you and laid them down. Make sure if you use something like that, that your plastic beads are completely around this, because that's going to hold them in. Now those glass beads, they won't melt. I wish there were sun, but there isn't. Here's the star, or sun, whatever. Look how shiny, bright that is. Here's this one. Here's another big one. Now, let me just suggest to you that you don't use this cord like I used. Get some fishing line. It's clear, it's lightweight, and it makes these things hang straight instead of them wonky jawed like that. See, it'll make it look a lot better, and you won't see all that wire. I love this one. It's my favorite. Now, I made a few more of these little guys. So I can hang those up here like that if I want to, or I can attach them to one of these. Plus I have this one here if I wanted to use that or hang it up. Now let me see if I can do this without making a mess. Here's one in a pan. Just took it out of the oven not too long ago in one of those small pans. It doesn't take very long to cook, maybe 20 minutes, or bake rather, whatever it's doing. And I used the clear kind of white colored. Now I'm going to turn it over and see if it'll pop out. It should pop out. There it is. Popped right out just as easy as pie. Alright, there's that one. And what I'm going to do is put a hole in it. I used a drill. Y'all can use the heated ice pick like I was telling you about. But that's what they look like. Aren't they pretty? Now you can do any designs you want. Hang them anywhere you want. Like I said, I would use the cord though. That looks a whole lot better. But I think what I'm going to do is get a tension rod and hang it across right up here and hang some of these from that, so that because I get a lot of sun that comes in this window, and I think that will look pretty. So what do y'all think? So easy to do. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If I've left something out and I haven't explained it right or something, they're super easy to make. They don't take long, and they are so pretty hanging up in a window. I'm not going to put them over my door, of course, but I've got that up there because I had that rod and I wanted to show you. That's all there is to it. Happy crafting!